Happy Friday. It's the most wonderful time of the year. The weather's cooling, the summer drought is done, fishing's great, deer season's coming, and football's back. I'm pleased to announce that our Texas managing broker, Sherry Rios, is now a Trek CE provider, and I can now provide CE credit for our classes. Our next class on October 4th is a lunch and learn and is titled Thriving in a Shifting Market. In this class, I'll share tips and strategies for success as the market evolves. Today, I want to give you a sneak peek of the section of the class that pertains to listings. The number one complaint for listing agents is we sign the listing agreement, we drop a sign in the yard, we install a lockbox, we input the listing on the MLS with syndication, and then go dark. So my solution to this issue was to prepare a weekly report showing listing views from the MLS hit counter and data from Zillow and Realtor.com. I had to do this manually, and it was very time consuming, but it was certainly appreciated by my clients. The value of the weekly listing report was diminished during the pandemic when homes were selling in a week or two. Now that the average days on market, at least here in Austin, is over 3 weeks and continuing to trend up, these reports now provide great value. Many times, agents just expect clients to take their word as gospel when they're consulting with them. I have found that it is much more effective to show them the data to help them come to a decision on their own. What if we could easily show sellers how their listing is performing on the MLS, on Zillow, on Trulia, IDX? How would this change the relationship dynamics? What I have found is, for instance, I had a farm and ranch listing, and the seller was very surprised to get weekly reports, knowing that farm and ranches could be on the market for quite some time. He didn't expect to hear from me unless there was an offer or an inquiry. So he was very appreciative to know that he was a priority and that every week I was going to be communicating with him. The other thing that's been very beneficial is frequently after looking at the reports, the seller's the one that sees the activity dropping off and they go, maybe we should reduce the price. And of course, my response is, well, I think you're right. So it does have a very beneficial change on the dynamics of the relationship. So Diana Pavlica, one of our Austin agents, found ListTrack. It's like some big secret that nobody knows about. Several of the Texas real estate boards and associations are providing ListTrack to their members for free. The DFW and Austin boards provide it. Unfortunately, Houston, San Antonio, Temple Belton, other boards in Texas are not offering it at this time. If you're a member of one of the boards that do not offer ListTrack, you may want to contact them to request that they begin to offer it. When you first log into ListTrack, you're taken to the dashboard that shows a summary of all activity for all of your listings. There are graphs for views, inquiries, visitors, performance, markets, and more. You can select time parameters for the report for the last 7 days, the last 30 days, or custom days. Click on the listings to see reports for your individual listings. Here we see that you can view the online analytics, schedule delivery of the seller report directly to the seller, or view the seller report itself. Let's take a look at a seller report. This is the view the sellers will see. Here we see stats for the period, the top 10 websites, and the top 10 cities where searches were performed. Some pretty interesting data. For this particular listing, I found it interesting that there were 4 property views from Lake Forest, California, 2 from Chicago, Illinois, 3 from Bellevue, Washington. Interesting information. The next step is to click on View More Stats for your listing. At the top of that page that comes up is a summary of all the activity of the views, the favorites, inquiries, and shares. Next, you'll see a number of views or the listing from the various platforms. And you can export this chart or export it to a list. Pretty interesting to see how the different platforms are performing. Next, you see the daily visitor activity. This particular transaction that I'm using an example here involves a divorce case that has become very complicated. We're working on the second contract for this listing, and it's pretty obvious to see when it came back on the market in May. This view of markets shows where the searches are originating and zip codes are ranked in order of volume. Pretty interesting information as well. These sections don't have any data. I'm not really sure why. I don't know if it's specific to this listing or what the situation is, but for whatever reason, data is not displaying on these sections here. So you can see this report provides excellent information. To get started, go to mysellerreports.com and click on register. Select your MLS. Provide the email you use with your board or association. Respond and confirm the email and log on to the system. So I'm sure you'll find Listrak very helpful. Please contact me if you have any questions or need help with this. I hope you'll be able to join us for our live class on October 4th. Please watch your email for more details, and I hope you have a great weekend.